espero que todo mundo pique corretamente dessa vez, porque vamos dar outro remake, porque, né?
Or disconnects. We hope. Just waiting on a few more players to finish picking their heroes. And there we go. Joining me today is Blame the Controller.
So we did have a couple hiccups, but we should be ready to rock and roll. Get the courier this time, I hope.
Tactical pause for the wards. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Tangos.
Muito. Quando um jogo e é o pique, ele sempre tá no Alckmai, cara. E isso, pô, é um problemão. Às vezes eu pego o Alckmai sem querer no jogo e eu fico irritado. E o Molotov ganhou a batalha de escorrer. Porque dessa vez é um Naked Creevil.
Enzi will be on top of the Bane. G4 playing Queen of Pain Pleiades on Treant Protector, and Kadam rounding up the team on Gyrocopter, a hero they had much success with in their previous game. Meanwhile, for the side of Molotov, we have Klotz on Nikes. We have Baga on the Wisp, Deeks on Shadow Demon. Fuzzy will be playing the puck, and that leaves Tavo on Nature's Prophet. If you're saying this roster looks familiar for Molotov, it's because it's identical to their previous roster that won them their first game in a decisive fashion. We also see some Treants coming in to scout in the jungle here. They run into Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter just going to go ahead and offer some auto attacks, and this may be a sign that they do not want to continue on, as they do have 3 heroes down in the area, but they're going to run into 4 from WatersMelons if they continue, so they're going to back off a little bit. In the previous selection screen, we talked about this matchup, Puck versus Queen of Pain middle. I think it's a fairly even matchup. I think Queen of Pain should do pretty well. Last time we saw Fuzzy dominate his opposing Queen of Pain, but this is a different player and a different game, so we'll see exactly what happens in the match this time around. Meanwhile, Molotov are lining up this aggressive tri-lane. So they're going to try to go in against Gyrocopter, Treant, and Bane. Pretty confident, it looks like, in their 3 heroes. At Wisp, you don't see an aggressive tri-lanes all too often because he is very vulnerable early in the game, susceptible to huge damage, and definitely a prominent target in that regard as well. But they're going to try and make the most out of it, as they do pick up illusion runes, which should help a good deal early on too. We also see the Radiant hesitant to pop out here, so first skill hasn't been selected yet from Gyrocopter. I'm curious to see. He does go for Flat Cannon, so realizing it, that it is a tri-lane versus tri-lane, Flat Cannon is going to be a really good option to get some extra harass damage onto everybody. That's kind of why a lot of teams like using the Gyrocopter in the tri-lane capacity, because he just offers so much harass damage without having to exert that much effort at all. As we do see the wave getting pushed earlier, though, as a result of the Flat Cannon usage. Meanwhile, our solo lane matchup is going to be Bounty Hunter against Nature's Prophet, and this is a lane that Nature's Prophet should be able to CS pretty effectively in, but Bounty Hunter, once picks up a couple levels, he can definitely apply some harass to Nature's Prophet and potentially get a kill there at some point. So you'd think Nature's Prophet has to be a little bit careful in that lane, but certainly both players should be getting a decent amount of farm. Middle lane is pushed pretty heavily as we see G4 get hit by that Treant Protector shell, of course, the living armor. For some reason that name dodged me for a moment there as we see disruption on the bottom lane. Klotz coming in deep. The stun is there from the tether. Kadam taking a lot of damage with the open wounds on him, but the Treant Protector uses the living armor as well onto Kadam, and there really isn't anything further that Molotov can do once that armor is on Gyrocopter, being able to block so much damage, and that's why a lot of teams have been valuing this Treant pickup as of late. And on the flip side, a lot of teams have been banning out Treant because he is a very frustrating hero to play against. So Kadam is going to feel pretty safe pushing up into this lane, of course, blocking 20 damage for 7 instances at the level it is right now. middle lane, Queen of Pain is going to go ahead and continue CS. We actually hear the thought of a TP in. Kadam takes some extra damage as they jump in once again, but you see the damage coming out from the rocket barrage, but Kadam is going to go down. First blood goes to Molotov as they're able to cash in onto that gyrocopter, and Bagas continues to apply some extra harass damage. He did have that haste rune active, so really well played there by Molotov as they're able to go ahead, jump on the carry and take him out. Looked like there wasn't a living armor, or they bursted through it quickly enough so that it wasn't able to save him that time. Perhaps it was between cooldown or whatnot, but certainly good execution by Molotov. Klotz did get pretty low, but there's not that much damage. We talked about Train Protector. He has great base damage, but he doesn't have that much magical damage, especially at level 1, and he doesn't even have Leech Seed yet. So we'll see what they try and do to try and offset that lack of damage output as they continue on. They cannot afford to drop Gyrocopter a couple more times. His CS right now is only 3 for 2 against 9 for 6 on the Nikes, which is a little bit surprising considering it is his safe lane. So you, meanwhile, in the top lane is 6-0 against 12 for 8 on Tavo. And of course, Nature's Prophet has a great attack animation, so that's going to benefit him a ton in this matchup as well. Be able to cash in on tons of CS. Bounty Hunter's animation, not quite as good. It's a little bit more delayed. And middle lane matchup, we see 12 for 2 on Queen of Pain and 13 for 4 on Puck. So Fuzzy against G4 is pretty even right now. Illusion Orb will fly out for some harass damage, and there's full bottle in the hands of Puck, so he's pretty confident being able to spam off some of that damage now. Meanwhile, bottom lane disruption, cast it off again. Soulcatcher is going to go on top of Kadam. They use the open wounds as well. Klotz trying to get the kill here. Kadam taking a whole lot of damage. He's backing up. One more hit will do the job. Down he goes again. Lifestealer picking up the kill that time. And this lane is not going well at all for WatersMelons, our Radiant team. The North American side getting handled thus far by the Brazilians of Molotov. And Gyrocopter just isn't working out. He's coming in pretty close to his creep waves, getting caught off guard with those disruptions, just setting up the perfect kills. Speaking of which, we see it happen again. Disruption is there. Gyrocopter is being focused. He's being blocked by those illusions pretty effectively. The living armor came out, but it was bursted through rather quickly. The auto attacks are here. They need a couple more to get the kill. Baga is going to extend into tower range, take a couple of pot shots from the tower, but he is okay, as we do see the spirits actually coming in from the side. They're trying to find the Gyrocopter, but Treant ate most of them, and now living armor will pop back up on Gyrocopter and try and regen him a little bit. This is not a good sign for WatersMelon, considering their other lanes aren't doing that well either, as 20 is the highest CS in the game, and it is true the Nature's Prophet on the top lane. But can't keep your eyes off of this tri-lane versus tri-lane because of the fact they've been so aggressive, and once again they're going deep under the tower. Kadam is being focused on Klotz here. The living armor already bursted through. The ultimate comes down from the Nature's Prophet, and another easy kill. He actually picks up 2 as the Bane went down. TP's in. He's going to try and clean up all 3. A triple kill for Nature's Prophet on the WatersMelons tri-lane, dismantling all 3 heroes. That ultimate was huge. The Wrath of Nature came in and cleaned up Bane as well as Gyrocopter, and then the TP in for the triple kill onto Treant Protector. And this is not going well. They need something to happen. G4 is probably going to have to move earlier than he wants to. Fuzzy's going to drop a Dream Coil here. In fact, G4 is going to snap it, but with the living armor on him, he is going to be safe now as he's able to retreat back towards his tower. He's 25 for 5, so not that far behind Puck in terms of CS. Middle lane matchup fairly even. Top lane, we do see Bounty Hunter is going to rotate. It looks like they're going to try and transition their tri-lane and dodge this tri-lane bottom, or maybe even put the 2 supports with Bounty Hunter. This tower already being down is not a good sign for them. You can see a lot of gold is going to come in advantage for the Dire. They're already up 4,000 gold. We're only 6 minutes into the game, so very significant numbers. And we see a rotation from Deeks as he comes towards the middle lane, joins there. Puck's going to go ahead and pick up an illusion room, so being able to reach in some of that mana as he is sitting empty. Queen of Pain, though, does have a full bottle, so she's going to be able to output some damage as we see a Scream used to get that last CS. And the supports don't really know what to do on the side of the Radiant. I mean, only level 2 on Bane as well as Treant Protector. And before the remake, I talked to a great extent about the levels and how significant they are on these 2 supports. You're really putting a lot on the line when you pick up a Treant Protector and Bane. These are 2 heroes that need their level 6s to really be effective. On the top lane, though, let me stop that thought. We have Soyu going on top of Tavo. The missile's coming out from Gyrocopter. It's going to catch him in a moment here. Soyu, only level 5, doesn't have that much damage, and he's going to throw throw a shuriken, but now it gets turned around. Klotz comes in. Is there any invisibility detection? There is not, and therefore that means Soyu is just fine. He pops out of invisibility to get a shot onto Nature's Prophet, who TPs forward. We also see the damage being taken away, but the Infest is there. Klotz pops out. Soyu still focused on trying to take down this Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet taking a good amount of damage. One more hit will do the job, and there's the first kill on the board for WatersMelons as Bane does get the last hit on Nature's Prophet. But took 4 heroes against 2 just to muster up that 1 kill. And now a big rotation is coming in from Molotov. As you see the 2 supports rotating in from the river, they're going to tether in onto Klotz. Klotz is going to look for an open wounds here. He's trying to jump. He chooses to go on Enzi. Enzi taking a lot of damage from the spirits. They're under the tier 1 tower. TP is coming in, but Enzi, one more hit will do the job. He's going down. Bane is dead. We see G4 has rotated in. Disruption onto Shadow Demon to try and keep himself alive, but Deeks will go down to 1 more auto attack, actually being split as the tower gets that last hit. And on the back end, we do see Nyx able to rotate out as well, as he was able to dodge most of the heroes that were focused on getting that kill on Shadow Demon. So now 7-2 kill lead in advantage of Molotov over WatersMelons. We're only 8 minutes into the game, so that is pretty significant. And if we take a look at Klotz, he already has 1,000 gold on him, 2 kills, 2 assists, and 34 CS. So he's boards. Got a couple of kills and a couple of assists already. There's a rotation towards the middle, though. It looks like they're trying to engage here on the side of WatersMelons, but the silence comes out on G4, and this is not a good look for him. He has the living armor on him, though, so it will protect him from a good amount of damage. Soyu comes in here. He does have track. He's going to throw on top of the Lifestealer. We see Sonic Wave come out, but it doesn't finish anyone off or put them in a dangerous range, as most of the heroes sitting around half health and healing up rather quickly. So missed opportunity there from WatersMelon to try and capitalize and pick up a kill or 2, but of course when most of your damage is coming out from that Quap and you're against the Lifestealer, who has a lot of farm early on in the game, it's going to be difficult to cash in on a lot of these kills. As you can see there, even with him tanking a couple of those burst damage spells between the Scream and the Sonic Wave, he is still healthy and fine in the long run. We see Nature's Prophet is going to once again build towards that mech. So this Tavo's Nature's Prophet very adamant on picking up that mech to support his team and get them rolling earlier on in the game. And G4 is going to TP back into middle. We hear an Infest, so it looks like Fuzzy may be potentially looking for an Infest bomb here. So the Puck bomb is going to rotate as the smoke is in play. Deeks and Fuzzy both smoked with Nyx inside of the Puck. They're going to come towards bottom, where Gyrocopter is trying to farm peacefully. He's going to get caught out here, and there it is. The Soul Catcher is going to hit on him. They used the Dream Coil. I'm not sure it was necessary, considering they had the open wounds as well, but either way, they're going to guarantee that kill onto Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter now sitting on 4 deaths, 0-4 and 1, so averaging about 1 death every 2 minutes or so. Not a ratio he was going for. We also see Deeks able to pick up some sentries, so they're going to be able to work against this bounty hunter if they find him out as well. And Shadow Demon nearing that level 6, so having the Demonic Purge is going to be really nice for him. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Bane is alone, so you kind of like this. It gives him a little bit of opportunity to try and pick up some experience, but G4 comes in a moment to just take any of that experience away from him. Getting that level 6 would be huge for them, just to try and even slow down the Nyx. I'm not sure they can kill him within the duration of 1 Fiend's Grip quite yet. They just need to try and slow him down a little bit, and Kadam is pretty brave, poking his head out here on the bottom lane. He just wants to get some semblance of farm, as he only has Boots right now, as well as a Bassi. He's really having a tough time. Klotz is pretty confident standing up here with no teammates on top of him, but Wisp is hiding somewhere. He does have a level 6 and a relocate, so with the fact you have a Wisp with relocate as well as a Nature's Prophet is going to make this Nyx feel pretty comfortable down here. Train Protector is here. He's only level 3. So really struggling in the level department and the farm department on the side of WatersMelon. Thus far in the game, we can see gold earned 5,000 advantage, experience earned 3,000 advantage, all in favor of our dire team, the Brazilians. Molotov, middle lane, G4 and Fuzzy look like they're having a stare down, but they actually didn't have vision of each other. Silence comes in on top of G4. The Loser Orb is there as well. There's the Soul Catcher. They're going to go ahead, Dream Catcher. Queen of Pain's going to blink out of it. She does get the living armor as well. They're going to try and turn this around. The tier 1 tower drops. That gold going to Puck from the Illusion. Illusion picking up a tower kill. Impressive. So Yu is rotating in. He's level 7. There's vision in the river, but he's not quite there yet. So he's pretty safe. Top lane, we see Baga's looking for some farm as well. Looks like he's very far away from his team. Doesn't really have anyone in close proximity that he could relocate either. So And maybe just trying to stack some camps, create some extra farming opportunities for Molotov moving forward. And we do see a stack coming out at the 12-minute mark. Molotov are going to go ahead and group up by the Roshan, so they're going to try and go for an early Roshan here with all the map control they have. You can see the vision of WatersMelons is limited to very defensive positioning. They don't actually know what's going on anywhere past the river. Their span of view is limited since they don't have tier 1s in the middle lane or the bottom lane as well. And with the mobility coming out from not only relocate, but also that ability to teleport anywhere from Nature's Prophet, it's risky to try and venture out here. Soyu's going to get spotted up by the sentry as he walks near the river but doesn't cross it. So Molotov are going to go ahead and continue working on this Rosh, and it's going to be a pretty free Roshan kill for them. Klotz already looking somewhat unkillable, having that armlet, but adding the Aegis on top of that, it's going to be an uphill battle, to say the least, from WatersMelons to try and find a way back into this game. Gyrocopter is able to pick up phase boots, so opting for a little bit of extra mobility, and of course gives him some extra damage, which he desperately needs, as the only source of damage right now is going to be that Queen of Pain. But we mentioned before, with Rage in play, with Disruption and Phase Shift able to dodge a lot of that burst damage coming out from her, they need some extra consistent damage source. So Phase, not always the best option on Gyrocopter, but it's actually pretty commonly selected. Relocate's going to come off, it's going on to the top lane. They're going to try and catch up Tree and Protector here. They jump on top of him, he's going to put Living Armor on himself, taking a lot of damage. 3 seconds until the relocate gets pulled back. Sonic Wave is there, they can't kill anyone off though in time. In fact, they're going to leave Lifesteal behind, as the relocate will only pull Wisp out, and now G4 gets focused off by Klotz. Klotz is going to go ahead and toggle that armlet, and now go ahead, pop the Rage and TP home. There's nothing there to interrupt. They spot out the two others trying to rotate out. There is a cooldown in the middle. G4 jumps on top of Deeks. Deeks is going to go towards the jungle. There's still a lot of support here on the side of Molotov. G4 continues to walk in, though he has to be careful. He's taking some damage from illusions and auto attacks, but he is fine for the moment. Sentries in play all over the place. We also see a very aggressive ward placed here. Illusory Orb's going to fly. Fuzzy jumps in, does get the silence off on G4. G4 is going to retreat back to his base and play it safe, as a tier 2 in the middle lane will be taken by Molotov as they take their third tower kill of the game, continuing to build on that gold lead. They have around 7,500 in terms of gold advantage right now. Blink Dagger just picked up by Fuzzy, so we'll see it on him in a moment. And they're going to rotate towards top, where there's a tier 1 still standing. So with WatersMelon very cautious, not willing to engage on a tier 2 in middle lane, you have to think they're going to be a little bit reluctant as well to defend a tier 1 on top lane. But it looks like they're trying to build some defenses here. Soyu does spot off the Puck. Puck doesn't have that much mana as he tries to retreat out, and is actually going to get finished off without even phase shifting. So interesting. I'm not sure if he wasn't paying attention, but definitely could have dodged a little bit of that damage. Didn't have the Blink Dagger on him though, as the courier got stolen from him. So probably a little bit frustrated with his team. If the Blink Dagger had gone directly to him after he purchased it, could have phased and would have probably made it out of there alive, or at least put up a better fight. But not the case. Bottom, we see Relocate's going to go on top of Kadam, and he stands no chance, as he does get the Living Armor, but it's not enough to save him from the damage coming out from Klotz as well as Baga. And they're going to go ahead and focus on this tower. Baga's not even going to pull Klotz back with him. He's going to let Klotz try and do some work on the tier 2, and the tier 2 should be taken down in a moment by this Lifestealer, who's looking really, really fed, as he now has 2,000 gold in his inventory. We're only 16 minutes into the game, but if we head over to net worth, it shows us that 6,500 net worth on this Lifestealer. We also see his two teammates, Nature's Prophet and Puck, are rounding up the top 3. So definitely a positive sign if you're a fan of Molotov. Not that great of a sign if you're rooting for WatersMelons, as they are struggling to find any ground to stand on thus far in this game. This is winner's bracket. The winner of this game will move on to the playoff stages of the Dota 2 Canada Cup, presented by Dota2.ca. And the loser of this game will still have one more shot. They'll have to play the winner of the losers matchup, which is occurring concurrently. Soyu's going to come on top of Tavo, thinking about engaging, but instead changes his focus to Deeks. They do get a Fiend's Grip, so they're going to secure a kill. I mean, I want to say it's a little bit of an overkill, but, you know, kills being scarce, you might as well use the skills when you can. So Bane's going to go ahead and throw everything at that. They use a cooldown. Cooldown's a short cooldown, though. That's not that big of a deal. Big concern has to be the Fiend's Grip. And we also see Tree and Protector still struggling to find that level 6. So 2 risky supports in that regard, and it's just not panning out quite yet for WatersMelon. So we also see Lifestealer decides to pick up drums with that gold that he had just accumulated. We take a look at the other heroes on the side of Molotov and see their item progression. There is a Staff of Wizardry on Shadow Demon, so perhaps going to work towards a 4-staff sooner or later. Puck, we already know about the Blink Dagger being up. Baga is going to pick up an urn, so he's probably had that for a little while now. And Tavo is going to opt for his second item being the Orchid, which he did last time around in the previous game as well. Lifestealer is actually going to get a kill with a relocate onto Gyrocopter yet again. So Gyrocopter playing risky on his own. There's no tier 2 here any longer. They're able to exploit that, use the relocate, and get another free kill on him. Gyrocopter has now dropped 6 times, and his CS is only at 62. It's not that bad in comparison to the other heroes in the game, but with 6 deaths, it really does eat away at any of the gold he may have had. You can see his net worth at 3,400, comparable to the off-lane bounty hunter. Not that much more than the Shadow Demon on the side of his opposition. So we do see work now happening on the tier 2 tower on top lane. That tower is going to go down, and more money coming to Lifestealer. The last thing WatersMelons need, as the Brazilian team Molotov are looking dominant, 10-4 kill lead, but that doesn't really tell the tale, as they now have all 6 outer towers down within 19 minutes. They also have an Aegis on top of the Lifestealer that's about to expire. We see it's about to be taken back in 20 seconds or so. So 4 minutes and change until the next Roshan is available. G4 gets spotted off here, but Fuzzy not going to pop the Dream Coil right off the bat that time. Tavo getting closer to having that silence, and that silence is really going to be a nail in the coffin for this Queen of Pain, who is trying to keep her team in it. And she only has 1 kill. Here's a relocate, actually. It's going to come into the top lane, and once again, Kadam caught in no man's land. Clot, open wounds, and this is like clockwork right now for Molotov. They're making no mistake getting these easy kills. And Kadam drops again. Relocate pulls them right back to the middle lane where they rejoin their team. And it's like a little mini game for them. Spot the Gyrocopter outside of the base, TP, get a free kill, and go back to whatever you were doing previously. Now Puck's going to come towards the top lane. He thought about going on top of this bounty hunter for a moment there, but he doesn't have any invisibility detection, so he's not going to accomplish all too much. You do see a good amount of damage coming out from the Illusion Orb, as well as the Silence, a Waning Rift. Bottom lane is being pushed out, pressured a little bit by Nature's Prophet and Shadow Demon, who are in the vicinity. It looks like Nature's Prophet is about 1 Sobi and a recipe short of completing the entirety of the Orchid, so he's about 100 or so gold away from that. Queen of Pain is actually picking up an Oblivion Staff of her own, so working towards her own Orchid. An interesting item choice. Usually, we see a lot of players opt to not get an Orchid if they're low on farm and the game is getting a little bit later stages. Queen of Pain, you'd assume something like a BKB would be decent. I guess this matchup there's not too much magic damage, but that means even more so that she should be working towards something like a first item sheep, because you know, the farm is scarce. If you can work towards that sheet, it means you can at least guarantee it by 27 minutes or so, as we see engaged on top of her. There is the living armor keeping her alive. The cooldown is big. It's going to hit on top of Fuzzy. The Fiend's Grip is there. It catches Clots, but it gets interrupted promptly. And we also see the Sonic Wave coming out. So far, Bane is the only casualty, as Tavo went to the low ground, was able to silence him off, interrupt that Fiend's Grip, and get the kill on him. There's Track on top of the Puck, but Puck is able to blink away. Nature's probably picking up another kill on the back end of it, as well as Bounty Hunter going down, and there it is, another kill, triple kill for Nature's Prophet, his second triple kill of the game, and GG is called by Kadam. It's over, this one's in the books, and Molotov look dominant in their first game of the day for the Dota 2 Canada Cup, look as dominant in their second game of the day with the exact same lineup. Something's got to give, and this time around it was WatersMelons just not looking as strong in their initial game But Molotov are going to move on to the playoff stages, so already solidifying themselves with a good chance at that $750 prize pool. They got to be pretty proud, and now they can sit back and relax until those playoff stages do begin. So they're going to take Group A, and we'll get to see a game between WatersMelon and whoever made it out of Pain International versus Chiabusa. We'll get to see that game up next. The winner of that, of course, will be the second team qualifying from Group A to make it to the playoff stages. So I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I'm NYJohn. This is a presentation of the Dota 2 Canada Cup presented by Dota2.ca. Be sure to buy a ticket in the Dota 2 store. It's only one